Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the second phone call between the American and Russian military leadership, supposedly, occurred today. And it is between Shoigu and Austin. This article comes from Reuters, so it must be true. And it's from the October 23rd of 2022. Russia's Shoigu holds second call with US Defense Secretary in 3 days. Well, what's going on there? What are they accelerating into? Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu spoke with US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Sunday, today, for the second time in 3 days, and held a flurry of calls with 3 other counterparts from NATO countries. I think we're gonna get to a little peace agreement. Moscow provided no details on the conversation with Austin, which came after the two men spoke on Friday for the first time since May. Its readouts on the other calls said Shoigu had said the situation in Ukraine was worsening. Remember, Austin called Shoigu the first time. And I'm quoting, "They discussed the situation in Ukraine, which is rapidly deteriorating," end quote. The Russian Defense Ministry said Shoigu called with French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu. And I'm quoting, "It is trending towards further uncontrolled escalation," end quote. Shoigu spoke separately to Turkey's Defense Minister Hulusi Akar and Britain's Ben Wallace. Oh my God. What about Zelensky? What did he say? Oh, he doesn't care? Oh, he's not in the loop? There was no indication from the Russian side that the conversation had produced any positive result. What about negative? They showed, however, that Russia and members of the US-led NATO alliance are actively maintaining channels of communication at a time of rising international concern about a possible nuclear escalation. With Russia reeling from successive defeats in Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin has said it will resort to nuclear weapons if necessary to defend its quote-unquote territorial integrity. US President Joe Biden has said the world is closer to Armageddon than at any time since the 1963 Cuban Missile Crisis. NATO last week launched its annual nuclear deterrence exercise and has said it expects Russia to hold drills shortly to test the readiness of its own nuclear forces. A top diplomat was quoted after the Shoigu-Austin call last Friday as saying that, quote-unquote, misunderstandings must be cleared up so there are no accidents, end quote. French Minister Lecornu said after Sunday's call that he had reaffirmed France's desire for a peaceful resolution to the end of war in Ukraine, and that Paris refused to get drawn into any form of escalation. Britain said Wallace had, quote-unquote, refuted claims by Shoigu that Western countries were facilitating a plan by Kiev to escalate the conflict. Shoigu's ministry said he had told his French, Turkish and British counterparts on Moscow's concerns that Ukraine could detonate a dirty bomb, a device laced with radioactive material. Russia has provided no evidence. Oh well, Shoigu, what is this? Radioactive, Russia has provided no evidence to substantiate such a claim. That was the last little paragraph. Well, what do you think? They haven't spoken in about 2 months, Shoigu and Austin, let alone the fact that Russia spoke or didn't speak with the British and the French military counterparts. and it seems like Turkey is also involved. What could that be? Well, for the first part, this is a good thing, because whenever you have communication, that could be always helpful, good or bad. So if we communicate, it's good, even if we disagree. But no communication is not good, because you would be left to your own interpretation of the other side's actions. Therefore, your interpretation could be very, very far away from what the intent of the other side was. So I think this is a positive development, even if no, I didn't do it, yes, you did it. It's good because, as I said, open channels of communication are better than no communication at all. Regarding the timing, I don't know what to say about it. The Russians, they said they will, at least the Russian authorities in Kherson, requested the population to withdraw or to go back over the Dnieper River into Russia, so it avoids the counteroffensive of the Ukrainian forces, which is very, very bad news for the Russians. I don't know if the Russians are just trying to avoid the population being hurt, or they're just planning on the population just to move across the river so they don't get questioned in case the Russians are losing their territory again. Well, this is a new development. It's two phone calls between the NATO, or United States, NATO is United States, and the Russians within the past 3 days. I don't know what exactly, because they will not tell us what exactly is the goal of this communication, but just communicating is good, as I always say that. Other than that, no developments on Sunday, other than, as I said, the Ukrainians seem to advance on Kherson, and I don't think that's the point of the conversation between the two guys, or four guys, because they spoke on Friday, which was before the counteroffensive in Kherson. I'm actually, what is October, end of October, I'm waiting for NATO or Western countries to try to come to a certain agreement with the Russians, since the weather is gonna bite and energy is gonna be lower. But who knows? These guys in charge of us, I would say, don't really care about us versus their interests and their masters as well. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.